Let me tell you the one secret about starting a backyard flock that the entire chicken industry doesn't want you to know. The advice you're getting? Most of it is designed to make you buy more, spend more, and feel more confused than ever. Think about it. Who's giving you advice about chickens? Two groups of people. First, you have the commercial chicken industry. Hatcheries, feed companies, equipment manufacturers. Do you really think they want you to succeed with a simple, low-cost setup? Or do they benefit when you keep buying more stuff, trying new solutions, constantly upgrading? Second, you have experienced chicken keepers who've been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years. They're wonderful people with great intentions, but they've completely forgotten what it's like to be a beginner. They throw around terms like coccidiosis and broody behavior, like everyone knows what that means. They assume you have acreage, time, money, and experience that you simply don't have. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is speaking to the person who wants to start small, start smart, and actually succeed without making it a second full-time job. That was me 5 years ago, exactly me. My name is Emma Harrison, and I'm going to share something with you that I'm deeply embarrassed about. Something that still makes me emotional when I think about it. But it's a story you need to hear, because I was exactly where you are right now. 5 years ago, I desperately wanted fresh eggs. I wanted the satisfaction of raising my own flock. I wanted to teach my kids where food really comes from and slash my grocery bills at the same time. But I was paralyzed with fear. And when I finally took the leap, it was a complete disaster. For the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you a story. It's not a pretty story. Parts of it are heartbreaking. Parts of it will make you angry at the industry that set me up to fail. But it led me to a discovery that's now helped over 847 first-time chicken keepers start successful flocks without making the expensive, heartbreaking mistakes that I made. And by the end of this presentation, you're going to understand exactly why you've been struggling and what you can do about it starting today. Let me guess what's been going through your mind. You see those Instagram posts of beautiful chickens roaming picturesque backyards. You imagine collecting warm, fresh eggs every morning. You've calculated how much you'd save on organic eggs. Maybe $200, $300, even $400 a year. But then the questions flood in. What breed should I get? How big does my coop need to be? What about predators? What if they get sick? What if I do something wrong and they die? What if my neighbors complain about the noise? What if I waste hundreds of dollars on equipment I don't need? What if? So you start researching. And that's when it gets worse. One website says you need 4 square feet per chicken in the coop. Another says 10. One forum insists you must have a heated coop in winter. Another says heat lamps are dangerous and unnecessary. Buy expensive organic feed. No, make your own feed. Free range is essential. No, free ranging gets them killed by predators. Rhode Island Reds are perfect for beginners. No, Orpingtons are better. Actually, start with Bantams. Wait, Bantams don't lay enough eggs. You spend hours, no, days, going down rabbit holes. You join Facebook groups where people argue endlessly about the right way to do things. You read books written by homesteaders with 40 acres, and you're sitting in your suburban backyard, wondering how any of this applies to you. And here's what really hurts. Every time you see one more piece of conflicting advice, every time you read another horror story about someone's flock getting decimated by predators or disease, every time you calculate the startup costs and they keep climbing higher, you feel that dream slipping further away. Maybe you even started once. Maybe you bought some chicks, built or bought a coop, got everything set up, and then something went wrong. The chickens got sick and you didn't know what to do. A predator got in, the eggs stopped coming. The coop turned into a muddy mess. The smell became overwhelming. The chickens started attacking each other. You followed all the advice you found. You did your best, but somewhere along the way, it all fell apart. And the guilt. Oh, the guilt is crushing. Because these aren't just chickens. They're living creatures you were responsible for. And whether you lost them, or gave them away, or just decided it wasn't worth the stress, you felt like a failure. Let me tell you about the hidden costs nobody talks about. The financial waste. Most beginners spend $800 to $1,200 setting up their first flock. But here's what they don't tell you. About 40% of that is completely unnecessary equipment that you'll never use. Feeders that don't work. Bedding that causes respiratory problems. Supplements that are just expensive placebos. The average beginner wastes $320 to $480 on the wrong supplies. The time drain. You were told chickens were easy and low maintenance, but you're spending 45 minutes every day dealing with them. Cleaning, feeding, worrying, troubleshooting problems that shouldn't exist in the first place. The emotional toll. Every morning, you wake up anxious. Are they okay? Did something get in during the night? Why has egg production dropped? Is that normal behavior or is something wrong? And the absolute worst part? You start to believe it's you. That you're not cut out for this. That some people just have a way with animals, and you're not one of them. That your dream of backyard chickens and fresh eggs just isn't meant to be. But what if I told you that none of this was your fault? What if the problem wasn't you at all, but the advice you were following? I'm going to tell you something I'm embarrassed about. Something that still makes me emotional when I think about it. My first flock was 6 beautiful pullets. I'd done months of research. I bought the recommended coop from the farm store, a cute little red barn design that cost $400. I got premium feed, fancy feeders, heated waterers, the works. I even named them Matilda, Henrietta, Beatrice, Clementine, Pearl, and Little Rosie. For the first 3 weeks, it was magical. I was living my dream. Every morning I'd go out and collect eggs. My kids loved them. I posted pictures on Instagram. I felt like I'd finally figured it out. And then Matilda got sick. She stopped eating, started acting lethargic. I panicked. I searched online for her symptoms, found 17 different possible causes, tried 3 different treatments I read about in forums. Nothing worked. I found her dead in the coop on a Wednesday morning, and I'll never forget the feeling, the guilt, the certainty that I had killed her through my incompetence. My daughter cried for 2 hours, but it got worse. Within a week, 3 more chickens showed the same symptoms. I rushed the sickest one to a vet who specialized in poultry. Yes, that's a thing. And yes, it cost $220 just for the visit. The diagnosis? Coccidiosis, a completely preventable disease that most beginners don't know about until it's too late. The vet gave me medicine, lectured me about prevention I'd never heard of, made me feel about 2 inches tall. By the end of month 2, I'd lost 4 chickens and spent over $1,100 on setup and emergency care. The 2 survivors, Pearl and Rosie, I ended up giving them to a friend who actually knew what she was doing. I couldn't handle the stress anymore, couldn't look at that coop without feeling like a failure. My husband tried to comfort me. It's okay, honey. Chickens just aren't for us. But I couldn't accept that. Because here's the thing. I had followed all the expert advice. I'd read the books, watched the YouTube videos, done everything right according to mainstream chicken-keeping wisdom. And I'd still failed spectacularly. For 3 months, I was in what I can only describe as chicken-keeping depression. I'd see fresh eggs at the farmer's market, $8 for a dozen organic eggs I could have been producing myself. And I'd feel this mix of shame and anger. I'd see neighbors' chickens and have to look away. I joined forums under a fake name and just lurked, reading story after story of other people struggling. And I noticed a pattern. The same problems over and over. Coccidiosis, predators, egg eating, aggression, mites, bumblefoot, prolapse, problems that devastated beginners, but that experienced keepers barely mentioned because they knew how to prevent them. And then I'd see the advice given to these struggling beginners. It was always the same. You should have done X. Why didn't you do Y? Everyone knows you need to Z. But nobody was saying, here's the complete system that prevents all these problems from happening in the first place. I became obsessed because I couldn't shake the feeling that there had to be a better way. That backyard chickens shouldn't be this hard. That the dream shouldn't require so much specialized knowledge and experience. Late one night, I remember this so clearly, I was reading agricultural research papers at 2 a.m., studies on commercial chicken operations, data on disease prevention and optimal housing ratios. And I found something that changed everything. Commercial operations have failure rates under 2%. Beginners have failure rates over 40%. Same chickens, same basic biology, completely different outcomes. Why? Because commercial operations have systems. Proven, tested, foolproof systems that make success predictable and failure almost impossible. Meanwhile, beginners are told to figure it out and learn from experience, which is code for make expensive mistakes until you either get it right or give up. That's when it hit me. I didn't need more information. Information was everywhere. I needed a system. A step-by-step, nothing left to chance, beginner-focused system that assumed I knew nothing and taught me everything in the right order. But that system didn't exist, so I decided to create it. The next morning, I did something crazy. I called the vet who'd treated my chicken, the one who'd made me feel like an idiot. And I asked if I could interview him. To my surprise, he said yes. That conversation was revelation after revelation. He told me that 90% of the chicken emergencies he treats are completely preventable, with basic knowledge that most beginners don't have. He pulled up his records and showed me coccidiosis, bumblefoot, respiratory infections, Impacted crops, egg binding. Almost all of it could be prevented with proper setup and basic daily observation. Emma, he said, and I'll never forget this, you're not stupid. You're not bad with animals. You just bought a coop designed for looks, not functionality. You fed them like the bag said, without understanding their actual nutritional needs. And you didn't know what healthy chicken behavior looks like, so you couldn't spot problems early. He said, the backyard chicken industry sells dreams. I treat the nightmares. And most of those nightmares could be avoided if someone just told beginners the truth about what actually works. That conversation haunted me for days, because he was right. I wasn't given bad advice intentionally, but I was given incomplete advice. Farm advice, hobby advice. Advice that assumed I already knew the critical foundational pieces. I spent the next month interviewing everyone I could find. Commercial chicken farmers, old-time homesteaders who'd been raising chickens for 40-plus years, agricultural extension agents, feed nutritionists, coop builders, and I asked them all the same question. If you were teaching your own child, someone with zero experience, how to start their first flock and never fail, what would you tell them? The answers were remarkably consistent. They all identified what I now call the big farm mentality problem. See, most chicken keeping advice comes from people who have acreage, who have tractors and barns and extensive setups, who keep chickens as one part of a larger farming operation. Your backyard isn't a farm. Your chickens aren't livestock. They're pets that give you breakfast. And they need a completely different approach. Big farm approach focuses on flock management, large-scale disease protocols, production efficiency, treating chickens as commodities. Backyard approach focuses on individual bird health, prevention over treatment, simplicity over complexity. Treating chickens as pets with benefits. One isn't better than the other. They're just different tools for different situations. But nobody had created the backyard system. The small flock, beginner-friendly, failure-proof system. So that became my mission. I started over, got 3 new chickens, Plymouth Rocks this time, a beginner-friendly breed, and I implemented everything I'd learned. But here's what made this different. I documented everything, every decision, every setup choice, every daily task. I created checklists for myself because my memory was terrible and I needed to make success inevitable, not dependent on remembering everything. And something remarkable happened. It worked, effortlessly. The chickens were healthy, the coop stayed clean, eggs came like clockwork. Problems that arose were small, and I caught them early because I knew what to look for. By month 3, I had friends asking me how I was doing it. They'd seen my first disaster. Now they were seeing my success. What changed? I showed them my checklists, my setup guides, my decision flowcharts for troubleshooting. And they said, "This is genius. Why didn't anyone teach it this way?" That's when I realized this wasn't just for me. This system needed to reach every person who'd been where I was. Every person who'd failed and given up. Every person too scared to start because they didn't want to fail. I refined it, tested it on other beginners, made it simpler, more foolproof, added photos and diagrams because some people are visual learners, created troubleshooting sections for every problem that could possibly arise. And after 2 years of development and testing with over 100 first-time chicken keepers, the First-Time Chicken Keepers Checklist was born. This isn't a chicken keeping book. Those exist everywhere. This is a system, a proven, tested, step-by-step checklist that makes success inevitable and failure almost impossible. Think of it like this. You know how pilots use pre-flight checklists before every single flight? Even pilots with 20,000 hours of experience? They don't rely on memory. They don't wing it. They follow the checklist every time because it's the only way to make sure nothing is forgotten. That's what this is for chicken keeping. It removes guesswork, eliminates forgotten steps, makes expert-level care accessible to complete beginners. Let me show you exactly how it works. On day 1, you open the guide to the Getting Started checklist. It walks you through every single decision you need to make before you bring chickens home. You'll answer questions like, how many chickens should I actually get? Hint, it's fewer than you think. What breed fits my specific situation? How much space do I truly need? What local regulations apply to me? What's my realistic budget? No guessing, no wondering. Just answer the questions, follow the guidance, and by the end of day 1, you have a complete plan customized to your situation. On day 2, you tackle the shopping list. But not just any shopping list. My essential versus nice-to-have guide that saves you hundreds of dollars by showing you exactly what matters and what's just marketing. You'll learn the $15 feeder that works better than the $60 automatic one. Which bedding is safest and cheapest. The 3 essential tools versus the 47 things you don't need. Where to buy supplies without getting ripped off. Days 3 through 5 are coop setup. And here's where my system really shines. I don't just show you how to build or buy a coop. I show you how to create what I call a self-managing habitat. A setup so well designed that daily maintenance takes 5 minutes instead of 45. You'll implement the ventilation system that prevents 90% of respiratory issues. The predator-proof perimeter that costs $30 in materials. The nesting box setup that prevents egg-eating behavior. The waste management system that eliminates smell. By day 6, you're ready to bring your chickens home. And day 7? That's orientation day. You'll learn exactly how to introduce chickens to their new home, what to watch for in the first 24 hours, and how to establish the routines that will keep them healthy for years. Day 8 through 14 is the confidence week. This is where most beginners panic. The chickens are here. You're responsible. What if you miss something? But with the system, you can't miss anything because everything is checklist driven. Every morning, you do the 5-minute morning check. It's literally a checklist. Water level and freshness, check. Feed level, check. Quick health check on each bird, check. Visual coop inspection, check. Egg collection, check. That's it, 5 minutes. And because you're doing it every day, you quickly learn what normal looks like for your flock, which means you'll spot any problems while they're still tiny and easy to fix. By day 10, you're not nervous anymore, you're confident. Because the checklist makes you competent even as a beginner. On day 11, you collect your first eggs. And everything changes, because that moment, when you're holding that warm egg that your chicken just laid, that's when you realize, I'm actually doing this. This isn't a dream anymore. This is real. Days 12 through 14, focus on what I call reading your flock. You'll learn the behavioral signs that tell you everything you need to know. What does a healthy chicken sound like versus a distressed one? What does normal pecking order look like versus bullying? Which behaviors mean I'm happy versus I'm sick? By week 3, everything is running smoothly. Your chickens are thriving, you're collecting eggs. The routine is second nature. Now we optimize. You'll learn the seasonal adjustment protocols, because chicken care changes with the weather. The money tree principle, which breeds and setups give you maximum return. The expansion blueprint, how to add more chickens without starting over. The troubleshooting database, solutions for every common problem. On day 21, you're not a beginner anymore. You're a competent chicken keeper with a thriving flock. And the best part? The system keeps working. You can refer back to it for seasonal changes, when adding new birds, when troubleshooting problems. It's your reference manual for the entire journey. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds too easy. Chicken keeping can't be this simple. And you're right to be skeptical. You've been told it's complicated, that you need years of experience, that you'll make mistakes no matter what. But here's the truth. Chicken keeping isn't inherently difficult. What's difficult is trying to figure it out yourself from scattered information and contradictory advice. When you have a proven system that walks you through every step, it becomes predictable. Let me tell you about Sarah Martinez from Denver. Sarah was exactly like me. She'd tried chickens once before, and it was a disaster. Lost her entire first flock to a predator that got in through a weakness in her coop she didn't even know existed. She spent $800 on that first attempt. The emotional cost was even higher. When she found my system, she was skeptical. I've already failed once. Why would this be different? But something made her try again. This time with a checklist. She emailed me on day 28. Emma, I can't believe the difference. Last time I was stressed every single day, never sure if I was doing things right. This time, I follow the checklist. Everything is systematized. My chickens are healthier, my coop is cleaner, and I actually enjoy the process now. Sarah's been raising chickens successfully for 2 years now. She's expanded to 12 birds. She gives eggs to her neighbors, and she says the shopping list alone saved her over $300 compared to what she bought the first time. Let me tell you about Marcus Rodriguez from Phoenix. Marcus works 50 to 60 hours a week in construction. He's a single dad with 2 kids. When he told me he wanted chickens, I asked him the same question everyone did. Where are you going to find the time? But Marcus was determined. His kids wanted to learn where food comes from. He wanted to teach them responsibility. And he was spending $50 a week on organic eggs for his family. He went through the system in 3 weeks, set up what I call a weekend warrior coop, designed specifically for busy people who can't babysit chickens all day. On day 35, he sent me a video of his kids collecting eggs and screaming with excitement. He wrote, "The self-watering setup is a lifesaver. Sometimes I work 12-hour days and I don't worry at all. The 5-minute routine fits into our morning before school. My kids are learning responsibility. And we haven't bought eggs in 2 months. Marcus's kids named all their chickens after Marvel characters. His daughter wrote a school report about their flock that her teacher loved so much, she invited Marcus to bring eggs to class and talk about sustainable food. And then there's Rebecca Chen from Chicago. Rebecca's story hits close to home because she was me 5 years ago. She'd failed once already. Lost 3 chickens to coccidiosis, the exact same thing that killed mine. She'd given up for a year, convinced herself she just wasn't capable, but the dream wouldn't die. She missed the idea of fresh eggs. She hated feeling like a failure. And when a friend showed her my system, something clicked. She started small, just 3 birds. She followed every single step of the prevention protocol, used my troubleshooting guide to spot a potential issue on day 12, and fix it before it became serious. On day 42, she wrote me an email that made me cry. Emma, I did it. I actually did it. My chickens are thriving. I'm collecting beautiful eggs. And this morning I made breakfast for my family with eggs from our backyard, and I just couldn't stop smiling. Thank you for making me believe I could do this. Thank you for creating a system that works for people like me, people who failed the first time but deserved a second chance. These aren't cherry-picked success stories. This is what happens when you remove the guesswork and give people a proven system. Sarah, Marcus, Rebecca, they're not special. They're not naturally gifted with animals. They don't have unlimited time or money or perfect conditions. They just had the right information in the right order, and that made all the difference. Now, let's talk about what this is worth. If you hired me to come to your house and set up your chicken system personally, I'd charge $500 for a consultation. That's what my time is worth, and frankly, it's what preventing $1,000+ in mistakes is worth. If you went through the trial and error approach like I did, buying the wrong stuff, losing chickens, starting over, you'd spend $1,200 to $2,000 learning these lessons the hard way. Or you could spend years trying to piece together information from books, forums, and YouTube videos, assuming you don't give up first from overwhelm. But I didn't create this system to make maximum profit. I created it to help people like you, people like me 5 years ago, actually succeed. So here's what you're getting today. The core system, the first-time chicken keepers checklist. Value $47. This is your complete transformation manual. Everything you need to go from zero to collecting eggs in 21 days. Complete setup guide with step-by-step checklists. Co-op design and equipment recommendations. Breed selection guide for your specific situation. Daily care routines that take 5 minutes. Health monitoring and disease prevention. Seasonal management protocols. Comprehensive troubleshooting database. But that's just the beginning, because I'm including 4 critical bonus guides that act as insurance policies against failure. Bonus number 1, complete shopping list templates. Value $37. Yours free. This is the guide that Sarah said saved her over $300. Every single item you need, organized by priority level and budget tier. You'll know exactly what to buy, where to buy it, and how much you should pay. No more wandering the feed store overwhelmed. No more buying expensive equipment you don't need. No more wondering if you forgot something critical. This bonus alone will save you more than the entire cost of the system. Bonus number 2, Chicken Health Quick Reference Guide. Value $29, yours free. This is your early warning system. Visual guides showing you exactly what healthy chickens look like versus sick chickens. Common symptoms and what they mean. When to treat at home versus when to call a vet. Remember how I lost Matilda because I didn't know what I was looking at? This guide prevents that tragedy. It's like having a veterinarian looking over your shoulder every day, helping you spot problems while they're still easy to fix. Bonus number 3, Predator Protection Handbook. Value $23, yours free. Sarah's first flock was killed by a predator. Marcus's neighbor lost chickens to a hawk. This is the nightmare every chicken keeper fears. This guide shows you how to create predator-proof protection on any budget. Which predators are common in your area, how they attack, how to defend against each one. From $30 DIY solutions to more comprehensive setups, you'll have multiple options that fit your situation and budget. This is the force field that protects your investment and your peace of mind. Bonus number 4, year-round seasonal care calendar. Value $11, yours free. Chicken care changes with the seasons. This calendar tells you exactly what to do each month so you're always prepared for what's coming next. January, do this. July, do that. Every task, every adjustment, every seasonal consideration spelled out month by month. No surprises, no emergencies you didn't see coming. Just smooth, predictable success all year round. Let's add this up. The first-time chicken keepers checklist, $47. Complete shopping list templates, $37. Chicken Health Quick Reference Guide, $29. Predator Protection Handbook, $23. Year-round seasonal care calendar, $11. Total value, $147. That's $147 worth of proven, tested, beginner-focused chicken-keeping knowledge. But you're not paying $147 today. I want every person who dreams of backyard chickens to be able to afford this system. I don't want cost to be the reason someone gives up on their dream or makes the expensive mistakes I made. So when you click the button below, you're getting everything, the complete system, plus all 4 bonuses for just $27. $27. That's less than 4 dozen organic eggs. Less than you spend on produce in a week. Less than a bag of premium chicken feed. And it's a one-time payment. No subscriptions, no monthly fees, no upsells. Just $27 for instant access to everything. The moment you complete your order, you get immediate digital access. No shipping, no waiting. You could be reading the guide and starting your checklist 5 minutes from now. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but what if it doesn't work for me? What if my situation is different? What if I still mess it up? Fair questions. So here's my promise to you. Take the next 60 days, that's 2 full months, and use the entire system. Follow the checklists, set up your coop, bring your chickens home, go through the routines. If at any point in those 60 days you feel like this system isn't making chicken keeping simple and successful for you, just send 1 email to my support team. That's it. No forms, no hoops, no proving anything. Just say, it wasn't for me. And I'll refund every penny within 24 hours. You can even keep all the bonus guides as my gift for giving it a try. Why am I so confident? Because I've seen this system work for over 847 people across every climate, every living situation, every skill level. I've seen it work for people who killed their first flock, for people working 60-hour weeks, for people with tiny urban yards, for people who've never had a pet before. The system works, but if for some reason it doesn't work for you, I don't want your money. The risk is entirely on me. So here we are. You have a decision to make. And it's not really about chickens. It's about who you're going to be and what you're going to believe about yourself. Path A is to close this page. Tell yourself, maybe later, or I'll think about it, or I probably don't have what it takes anyway. And 6 months from now, you're in the same place, still buying $8 cartons of organic eggs at the store, still scrolling through Instagram, seeing other people's chicken success stories, and wondering, what if? Still letting fear and uncertainty keep you from something you really want. The dream slowly fades, the excuses get easier to believe, and one day you stop thinking about it entirely. Is that what you want? Or there's path B. You click the button below. You invest $27, less than you'll spend on eggs this month, in yourself and your future. 3 weeks from now, you collect your first eggs from your own chickens. Eggs that are so fresh, the yolk stands up proud in the pan. Eggs that taste like nothing you've ever bought at a store. 2 months from now, you're a confident chicken keeper. You've got this down. Your friends ask you for advice, your neighbors compliment your setup. Your kids have learned responsibility and where food comes from. 6 months from now, you can't imagine your life without your flock. You've saved hundreds of dollars on eggs. You've learned a skill that makes you more self-sufficient. You've proven to yourself that you're more capable than you thought. Which path sounds better to you? Here's what I know about this moment you're in right now. This isn't the first time you've thought about getting chickens. This dream has been with you for a while, maybe months, maybe years. And every time you see fresh eggs at the store, or read another article about food prices going up, or see someone else living the dream you want, you feel it. That tug, that reminder, that quiet voice that says, I want this. I wish this was my life. I'm telling you, it can be your life. Not someday, not when you're ready, not when you have more experience. Now, 3 weeks from now, with this system, but only if you take action today. I need to be honest with you about something. This $27 price is a launch special. It's not going to last. My business partner thinks I'm crazy for offering this so cheap. Emma, he says, you spent 2 years developing this, hundreds of hours. You could charge $97 and people would gladly pay it. And he's probably right. But I remember what it felt like to fail, to feel helpless, to believe I wasn't capable. And I don't want cost to be the reason someone doesn't get the help they need. So for the next 48 hours, this stays at $27. After that timer hits 0, the price goes to $47, maybe higher. And the 4 bonus guides, worth $100 in value, they disappear. They're only available during this launch period. This is your window, and it's closing. Let me tell you about the moment that makes everything worth it. It's about day 21 or so. You go out in the morning with your coffee, the sun is just coming up. Your chickens see you and make those happy little murmuring sounds they make when they're content. You open the nesting box, and there it is. A perfect, warm egg, still warm from the hen. You hold it in your hand, and in that moment, you realize, I grew this. I created the conditions for this life to happen. This food wouldn't exist without me. That feeling, that profound satisfaction, you can't buy it at any store. You can't get it from any restaurant. You can only experience it by doing the thing you're scared to do. By taking the leap, by clicking the button. Your first egg moment is waiting for you. Just 3 weeks away. Don't let another month go by where you're still dreaming instead of doing. Don't let fear rob you of fresh eggs, proud chickens, and the deep satisfaction of producing your own food. And don't let this opportunity slip away while you think about it. Click the button below. Enter your information. Get instant access to everything. 60 days from now, if you're not thrilled, you get every penny back. But I think 60 days from now, you're going to send me an email telling me about your first eggs, about how your kids love the chickens, about how you can't believe it was this easy. Your chicken keeping journey starts now, not someday, now. I'll see you on the other side. Welcome to your new life with chickens.